Okay, let's dig in. We're doing a deep dive today on a pretty advanced simulation model. It's built around Michelle Wucker's gray rhino concept.
Right.
And for anyone who doesn't know, a gray rhino is, that giant, obvious threat you can see charging right at you, but everyone just sort of ignores it.
Exactly. It's the complete opposite of the black swan, which is all about the unknown, the unpredictable. This model focuses only on the ignored.
So what's the big takeaway, the headline finding?
The primary finding is pretty startling. The simulation starts with what you'd expect, a move toward authoritarian consolidation. But that's not where it ends. The final mathematically derived conclusion is actually fragmentation.
Fragmentation, wow. So not a stronger central government, but the country breaking apart.
That's it. The model basically argues the system is architecturally a glass cannon. It has this immense offensive power, but just zero systemic resilience.
Zero resilience, so any major shock is fatal. But if the threat is so visible, this gray rhino, what's driving the collapse?
Well, this is the key. The model throws out the whole rational actor theory.
The idea that leaders make logical, self-interested decisions.
Gone. It argues the leadership is running on a totally different operational code. The model calls it the Alpha 2.0 algorithm, which is basically dominance equals success, period.
Dominance equals success.
And that ties into this Chapter 11 restructuring metaphor it uses.
Like for a bankrupt company.
Precisely. They view the state as a distressed asset, and they're actively looking for a huge crisis, maybe a war or some emergency, to suspend what they see as toxic liabilities.
You mean things like the Constitution? Or institutional norms?
That's it. They want to wipe the slate clean and centralize power. But here's the fatal risk. If that power grab fails, it's not Chapter 12. It's straight to Chapter 7 liquidation.
Which is total fragmentation.
The whole thing gets liquidated.
And the model says the system is already primed for that failure, right?
Yeah.
I thought it flags a stage 3 crisis based on some pretty scary metrics.
Oh, they're alarming. You have the CUI, the Cohesion Unity Index. It's sitting at 82.
What does that even mean, 82?
The analysis just labels it high badness. It's not just partisanship. It means the population has fractured into totally incompatible realities. Governance becomes, impossible.
And that's paired with the other one, the NDI.
The National Disintegration Index. It's at a critical 9.0. That score predicts that subnational units, we're talking about the states themselves, will simply refuse federal directives in a crisis. The central nervous system is already severed.
So if everything is this broken, why can't the leadership just seize power? I mean, people talk about the Bezmenov theory leading to normalization where everyone just falls in line. Why does that fail here?
Because the system is just too brittle. Bezmenov stages require a certain level of cohesion for the state to even hold together during the transition. Here, the convergence of fragility across all the domains, financial, social, political, is just too high.
So what's the trigger? The model must have a trigger.
It does. It predicts the leadership initiates what it calls round 2, a foreign war, maybe with Iran, as a psychological necessity to force that Chapter 11 moment.
But that's the big mistake.
It triggers the asymmetric response, a cyber kill chain on financial clearing systems, or an EMP on the grid. And that is the moment the glass cannon shatters.
And you can see the signs of this in the market, even before it happens. The model points to the VIX gold divergence.
Yeah, this is the footprint of the gray rhino. Gold is rising, which means smart money is heading for the exits. But the VIX, the fear gauge, stays really low. Total complacency.
That's the coiled spring.
It is. And when it snaps, the model shows a safe haven breakdown. Global capital flees U.S. treasuries. The government is instantly broke, unable to fund a war, let alone a domestic consolidation of power.
So let's just put this all together. The financial system implodes, the war is a catastrophic failure, and there's no money or loyalty left to enforce any kind of new order.
And that high CUI and NDI we talked about, it means the security apparatus doesn't unify behind the regime. It fractures along those same domestic fault lines.
Which brings us back to the final verdict.
Fragmentation. It's the only mathematically probable outcome because the U.S. system, the glass cannon, is too brittle to survive the first blow it needs to deal itself to consolidate power. The new order just becomes a balkanized continent.
So the final thought for you, the listener, is that the true gray rhino here isn't just debt or polarization. It's the deadly interaction of all these forces. A society with a high systemic vulnerability index being pushed toward a kinetic trigger by its own leadership. So you really have to consider, what are the implications of living in a society like that, which is right now completely in denial about something like a grid down scenario?